Man's body found bound and submerged in a Placer County irrigation canal was discovered nearly 5 years ago. Tonight, there are still no arrests, and the victim's sister is now speaking out, hoping to get an answer in a case that has gone completely cold. I do want to bring in ABC10's Becca Hotbegger joining us now because, Becca, I know you've spent a lot of time talking to this family. That sister is not giving up hope.
She's not. No, somebody out there knows something. That's what the sister of James Rodriguez says is the case here, and the Placer County Sheriff's Office agrees. Rodriguez was killed in the summer of 2021, and now 5 years later, the case remains unsolved.
These are photos Jessica Hafner keeps close. Her and her big stepbrother Jamie as kids on adventures, and Jamie as an adult with that bright smile of his.
He was just always so nerdy, goofy. He just had a sense of humor, always making all of us laugh.
They grew up in Pennsylvania, spending weekends together at Jessica's father's, Jamie's stepdad's, house. As they grew up, every year without fail, Jamie would reach out to Jessica on her birthday, July 30th. But in 2021, she never heard from him.
The one birthday is when he didn't reach out, and I thought that was very odd. It wasn't like Jamie.
A week later, she got a call. Her brother, 30-year-old James Pascual Rodriguez, was dead.
I was devastated. I couldn't even believe it. I was in shock.
James moved to Northern California around 2015 looking for a fresh start. He found it in Nevada County, in the areas of Grass Valley and North San Juan, where he met his good friend Ian McKenna.
James had a heart of gold. He was a really just loving person. He kind of was finding his way in life a lot.
Friends describe James as a beloved member of the community, a light-hearted free spirit, and a bit of a drifter who didn't always have a roof over his head. Sometimes he was camping, sometimes staying with friends.
Kind of just surviving by weed whacking and just like odd jobs and stuff, and just a really fun-loving guy.
On August 5th, 2021, in a utility canal miles away from Grass Valley and North San Juan,
A PG&E crew came to investigate something partially blocking the water flow at this grate. They found a body with its feet tied together.
There was an individual who was partially clothed and bound, which immediately sparked an investigation, raised suspicions about how this person had died, and prompted normal homicide protocol.
Placer County Sheriff's Office spokesperson Elise Soviar says James Rodriguez was identified in about a day because of a tattoo. His body had likely been in the water for a few days.
The coroner ruled the death a homicide through blunt force trauma to the head.
It was really hard on the family to know that he was tragically murdered.
Jessica and the rest of James' family live on the East Coast and felt especially helpless being far away.
I came at it a little bit different.
They hired two private investigators, Larry DeMates and Jim Goodrich, both actively licensed through the state's Bureau of Security and Investigative Services.
Yeah, it was violent activity, yeah.
They say it's possible James was killed in Nevada County and his body dumped in this Placer County canal.
Where they recovered the body, we backtracked up the canal to try to figure out what happened. The best access would have been about half a mile, I think it was, upstream. There was a wide spot in the road. So our working theory was that they had the body, they were moving it from somewhere else, they pulled off, chuck.
The men interviewed people who knew James, trying to determine who might have killed him.
This is consistent that James liked to talk a lot. He liked to bluster himself a little bit.
Which was kind of an endearing quality to him if you knew him.
James had many friends. A private Facebook group, Justice for James, has more than 100 members who offered condolences and called for answers in the wake of his death. But James could also rub some people the wrong way. Ian says in the days leading up to his death,
He did tell me that he was afraid, or that he had some fear. There were some people that were irritated with him.
More than likely it was somebody who knew him in some capacity and not completely random, but at this point we really don't have any definitive proof.
The Placer County Sheriff's Office says the case has gone cold, even after testing DNA evidence from James's body.
A partial profile was created, but it's just not quite enough to put it into the system that can do a direct DNA match, or that can be entered into the genealogy systems to be able to cross-check. However, technology is moving quickly.
Investigators are waiting deliberately before testing again. Soviar says the most recent technology, which tested the DNA evidence within the last 2 years, wasn't advanced enough to return a match. So the question is when, not whether, to try again.
It can take time.
Soviar points to the 34-year-old cold case of Cindy Warner's kidnapping and murder, which the Placer County Cold Case Unit recently cracked.
We were down to our last piece of evidence. The thought was it contained such little DNA that it wasn't worth testing, but we kept holding on to it. We got to a point where we thought, this is our last shot, let's give it a whirl, and it worked.
Meanwhile, Jessica has kept her promise to herself to speak up for her brother.
It just still saddens me that there's no justice for Jamie.
And she's not done fighting for that.
This is the only thing I have of Jamie, and it's his ashes and a heart. You know, he's always with me. He deserves peace within himself, his soul, and us as his family deserve that as well.
The Placer County Sheriff's Office says sometimes it is just one little nugget of information that's shared that can solve the case. Anyone with information can contact the Placer County Sheriff's Office.
And Becca, I did want to ask you, did he have a cell phone or anything on him that investigators could have at least tracked his last location to help them a little bit? Was that looked into?
Yeah, the Placer County Sheriff's Office says digital search warrants in this case didn't produce any useful information because cell towers are just too far apart in that area. Now, investigators do remain hopeful about DNA evidence testing. They say a community-funded nonprofit called the Placer Cold Case Foundation now helps cover the cost of testing, which, Alex, can run tens of thousands of dollars per piece of evidence.
Yeah, Becca, thank you so much for bringing in this story. Obviously, we're thinking of him and his family.
For sure.
Thank you.